Hi everybody, welcome back to Counterintelligence Report, where we break down the biggest stories in cybersecurity, cybercrime, and digital safety so you can understand how they impact our online world. In today's episode I'm going to talk about a case that has shaken both the cybercrime underground and the justice system, the resentencing of Connor Brian Fitzpatrick, better known by his alias Pum Pum Prin. He was a former administrator of the infamous cybercrime marketplace BreachForums. So, who is Pum Pum Prin? Connor Fitzpatrick is a 22-year-old from Pixel, New York. He played a central role in running BreachForums. This is one of the internet's most active marketplaces for buying and selling stolen data. So in March 2023, Fitzpatrick was arrested, but in July, he pleaded guilty on several charges. Now, the charges are access device conspiracy, and you might ask yourself, what is that? Well, access device conspiracy is an access to a device is any tool or piece of information that lets you get into an account, system, or service that you're not supposed to. Yeah, guys, that's illegal. For example, stolen credit card numbers, hacked username and passwords, bank account details, or even prepaid phone cards that you register under someone else's name. Now, that's the access device conspiracy. That's when two or more people agree to work together to steal, sell, or misuse those access devices. Even if they don't succeed, and this is very important, even if you don't succeed, just planning and agreeing, hence conspiracy, is already a crime. So, in plain terms, it's when people team up to trade or use stolen digital keys, like a credit card number, for example, to make money. That was the first charge. Now, the second charge is access device solicitation. Now, what is that? Again, access device, your things like stolen credit cards and all that stuff. Solicitation, that's asking, encouraging, or trying to get someone else to commit the crime. Yes, doesn't have to be yourself. So, if you ask someone else to give you, sell you, or help you get those stolen keys, like saying, hey, can you send me some hacked credit cards or accounts? That is access device solicitation. Again, it's illegal, even if the person doesn't hand them over. Just the act of trying to obtain this information is enough for a charge. Now, the third one, it's possession of CSAM, which is child sexual abuse material. Now, I don't think I have to explain that last one. That one is especially disturbing, and it's one reason why the court considered these crimes being so serious. Now, let's go back to what is BreachForums. To give you a little bit of context, BreachForums launched in March 2022 after law enforcement dismantled another very well-known forum called Raid Forums. Now, at its peak, BreachForums boasted around 330,000 members and traded more than 14 billion, not million, 14 billion individual records. Think about that for a second. 14 billion stolen records. That's personal data, that's corporate data, sensitive information that's all circulating in the underground. Now, for cyber criminals, it was a gold mine. For the victims, it was a nightmare. Now, he was sentenced before, and then he was just resentenced this year. What was that first sentence about? This is where things get unusual for a cybercriminal here. First, in January 2024, Fitzpatrick was sentenced to just 17 days, time served, and 20 years of supervised release. That decision raised some eyebrows across the cybersecurity community, given the scale of the crimes. Fast forward to January 2025. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit reviewed the case and vacated the original sentence, ruling that it was too lenient. The court ordered a resentencing. And this week, the Department of Justice announced the outcome: 3 years in federal prison and the forfeiture of over 100 domains, multiple electronic devices, and cryptocurrency linked to BreachForums. Now, why does this matter? Well, according to U.S. Attorney Eric Siebert, Fitzpatrick profited from selling vast quantities of stolen information. He emphasized that the damage is almost impossible to quantify, as it is in most of these cases, not just economically, but emotionally as well, especially because of the CSAM material that he was involved in. Now, his statement underscored a bigger message. Law enforcement is determined to bring cybercriminals out of the shadows, no matter where they try to hide online. That's what the attorney said. Now, what happened to BreachForums after that? Even after Fitzpatrick was arrested, BreachForums didn't disappear overnight. In July of 2024, the forum's entire database was leaked, exposing member details. And in a following episode, I'm going to cover some theories on who might have done that. Late 2024, a hacker group called Shiny Hunters claimed the site had been compromised by international law enforcement, potentially Interpol. The latest iteration of BreachForums, along with around 14 other e-crime groups like Lapsus and Scatterspider, recently announced that they were going dark. At the time of this recording, the forum is offline again, but history tells us that whenever one of these marketplaces is taken down, another one will pop up. Now, lessons for the cyber world. The story of BreachForums shows us two things. One, cybercrime is resilient. Even when one forum is taken down, another one pops up and takes its place. Law enforcement is catching up. Unfortunately, law enforcement has historically been reactive. In this case, there's an international cooperation, seems to be getting stronger, and cybercriminals are finding it harder to stay hidden. Why does this matter for everyday users? Well, for everyday users, the best defense is awareness. Protect your data, monitor for breaches, and remember that even small pieces of stolen information can fuel massive underground markets. That's it for today's episode of Couch Intelligence Report. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share with someone that might be interested in it. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.